Number 1. The country without poor people. Qatar is one of the world's smallest yet wealthiest nations, and the root of its prosperity lies in oil and natural gas. The proportion of wealthy people here is astonishing. On average, out of every 100 Qatari citizens, about 14 are millionaires. In most other countries, you would have to meet hundreds of people before finding someone like that. The average income of an ordinary citizen in Qatar ranges from $75,000 to $80,000 per year, which is many times higher than the global average. As a result, the concept of poor people almost does not exist in their social dictionary. The wealth of Qatar is clearly reflected in the way its people spend money. For them, owning a few luxury cars is nothing special. Mercedes or BMW are considered basic choices, while Rolls-Royce or Bentley bring a fresher sense of prestige. The country is small, while the number of wealthy individuals is overwhelming, which means some even have to park their private jets at airports abroad. The Qatari perception of wealth is also unique. In this place, the more greenery a household has, the richer it is considered to be. The reason is that Qatar lies in the middle of a desert and suffers from a severe shortage of fresh water. The country has almost no natural rivers or streams, and its fresh water mainly comes from desalination plants. Despite massive investments in technology, the amount of water produced is still insufficient to meet daily living and agricultural needs. Here, water is even more expensive than gasoline. Because of that, planting trees is not just a hobby but a symbol of class. Anyone who can maintain a lush garden is spending thousands of dollars every month on watering and maintenance. Most residents use artificial grass, while those with more means plant date palms, palm trees, or other drought-tolerant species. Since greenery is so precious, the government enforces strict laws. If someone causes a tree to die, even unintentionally, they may be fined tens of thousands of dollars. Trees are cared for with extreme attention, almost to royal standards. Many families hire foreign workers specifically to look after their gardens. These gardeners wear mesh clothing to protect the trees from the scorching sun and cover the roots during winter to keep them warm. Some upscale neighborhoods even have green rescue teams operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ready to respond when a tree shows signs of wilting. With the enormous cost of water and maintenance, a lush green garden in front of a house is practically a business card of wealth. If you see a home with vibrant greenery amid the desert of Qatar, you can be almost certain it belongs to one of the richest people in a nation already filled with the rich. Number 2. In Qatar, the heat can't beat money. If you think 35 degrees Celsius is scorching hot, then you probably have never set foot in Qatar. Here, 35 degrees is considered cool. This small Gulf nation ranks among the 10 most extreme climates on Earth. From May to September, daytime temperatures range from 42 to 50 degrees, sometimes even reaching 52. The high humidity from the Persian Gulf makes the heat feel like being wrapped in a steam oven. And just a few minutes outdoors can leave you drenched in sweat. Under such conditions, the Qatari government enforces a yearly ban on outdoor work during summer. From June 1st to September 15th, outdoor activities are prohibited between 10 in the morning and 3:30 in the afternoon. Any company that allows workers to labor during these hours can be fined up to $2,700 per employee. Yet, in the blazing 45-degree heat, you can still see Qataris wearing full traditional attire and walking outside at noon. They are not superheroes. They are simply living in a technological oasis. Here, air conditioning is not confined to homes but is found everywhere, even outdoors. With immense financial power, Qataris can create a cool atmosphere wherever they wish. The government and major corporations in Qatar invest heavily in cooling technology. Parks, shopping malls, airports, stadiums, and even sidewalks are artificially cooled. At the Palace Vendome complex, benches around the fountains are equipped with their own cooling systems, allowing visitors to sit comfortably, even under the midday sunday. Some luxury neighborhoods even have chilled streets, where cool air is pumped from underground through a network of pipes. Before the 2022 World Cup, many feared the harsh weather would affect players' performance. But Qatar surprised the world by spending millions of dollars to install cooling systems in all 8 stadiums. The temperature inside was so low that some players even shivered from the cold in the middle of the desert. However, That comfort comes with a heavy price. Operating countless massive air conditioning systems has made Qatar the world's highest per capita CO2 emitter. On average, each Qatari releases between 35 and 40 tons of CO2 per year, while the global average is only about 4.7 tons. This means that one Qatari emits as much carbon as an entire neighborhood in many other countries. Nevertheless, Qatar is aiming for carbon neutrality by the year 2050, investing strongly in renewable energy, especially solar power. Its most notable project is the Al Kharsa solar power plant, with a capacity of 800 megawatts, enough to supply more than 10% of the nation's electricity demand. Additionally, the 2022 World Cup was promoted as the first carbon-neutral event in history, though many experts believe that the claimed offset was more symbolic than realistic. Number 3. The illness of the rich in Qatar. The people of Qatar are living a life that many describe as heaven on earth. From birth to death, they are fully cared for by the government. Education is completely free, healthcare is free, and if you perform well academically, the state will cover all expenses for you to study abroad in the United States, the United Kingdom, or Canada. After graduation, Qatari students rarely have to worry about finding a job. On the contrary, they face what could be called a pleasant concern, having too many job offers to choose from. Here, it is you who choose the company, not the other way around. Most citizens work in the public sector or in state-owned enterprises, where the working hours are about 6 to 7 hours a day, 5 days a week. In addition, they enjoy Ramadan holidays, long religious breaks, and a true summer vacation. One of the things that astonishes foreigners is that Qatar imposes no personal income tax at all. There is no salary tax, no consumption tax, and essential services such as fuel, electricity, water, internet, and imported food are all heavily subsidized by the government. Here, almost everything is unbelievably cheap. When it comes to housing, Qatari citizens have no worries. The government has a dedicated housing fund that offers interest-free loans or cash support for building homes. Many young couples even receive free plots of land as wedding gifts to start their new life together. In old age, citizens receive a minimum pension of about $4,000 per month, plus a housing allowance ranging from $1,100 to $1,600. Moreover, the elderly are completely exempt from all public service fees, including transportation, healthcare, and utility bills. Social welfare in Qatar covers nearly every aspect of life, from childbirth and childcare to support for widows, the unemployed, and people with disabilities. Everyday life for Qataris is extremely comfortable. Under the 50-degree heat, they don't need to step out of their car to refuel, as attendants do it for them. When they want to eat, they simply stop their car and honk, and the staff will bring the menu right to the window. At supermarkets, goods are delivered directly to their homes, and in some places, even to the car trunk. At home, cooking, cleaning, laundry, and childcare are all handled by domestic helpers. With high incomes and inexpensive migrant labor, nearly every household in Qatar employs at least 2 or 3 full-time housekeepers. However, such abundance also comes with a downside. The people of Qatar are facing what are known as the illnesses of the rich. Obesity is the most common, affecting around 70% of the population, one of the highest rates in the world. Fast food, sugary drinks, and a sedentary lifestyle have caused both adults and children to gain weight rapidly. This excessive lifestyle has led to a series of other health issues, such as diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, gout, and fatty liver. Additionally, since the weather is too hot for people to go out in the sun, many Qataris even suffer from vitamin D deficiency. If you were to live under such conditions, would you still be able to maintain good health? Share your thoughts below, because perhaps even paradise isn't perfect all the time. Number 4. The wealthiest and most populous royal family. Qatar is an absolute monarchy, led by Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. Since the nation's founding, the throne has always remained within one lineage, the powerful Al Thani family. To this day, they have gone through 11 generations of rulers and continue to be one of the richest families on the planet, with a total estimated fortune of around $335 billion US. This figure even surpasses the combined net worth of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Emir Tamim himself at the age of 45, possesses a personal fortune exceeding $2 billion. He is also a prominent investor in major corporations such as Barclays Bank, British Airways, and Volkswagen. His royal family holds an extensive real estate portfolio across Europe and the United States, including the Shard, the Olympic Village, the Harrods department store in London, and even the Empire State Building in New York. In addition, they own several of the most luxurious five-star hotels in Paris and Rome, including the world-famous Savoy Hotel. When it comes to the lifestyle of Qatar's royal family, it can be summed up in two words: sheer luxury. They own gold-plated palaces, including a private residence in the United Kingdom that spans more than 3,000 square meters and is fully equipped with a spa, gym, play area, beauty salon, and even a private elevator for the staff. In the capital city of Doha, the royal family owns a massive Golden Palace complex consisting of 15 buildings and a parking area that accommodates more than 500 supercars. The construction cost of this complex is estimated at about $1 billion. Whenever they wish for a change of scenery, they retreat to their floating palace, the Qatari super yacht, worth $400 million. It can accommodate 35 guests and nearly 100 crew members. Inside, it features everything from swimming pools and spas to a gym and private entertainment areas, truly resembling a miniature city on the sea. Beyond their immense wealth, the Al Thani family also owns one of the largest art collections in the world. They once spent $250 million to purchase The Card Players by the renowned artist Cézanne. Their collection also includes thousands of ancient manuscripts, rare jewelry, antique scientific instruments, and Islamic artworks of tremendous historical value. The grandeur of this dynasty is not only reflected in its wealth, but also in its size. The reigning emir, Sheikh Tamim, is a clear example. He has been married 3 times and has 13 children. His first marriage in 2005 produced 4 children. In 2009, he married his second wife, with whom he has 5 more. In 2014, his third wife gave birth to another 4 children. However, compared to his father, former Emir Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, who ruled from 1995 to 2013, this number is still considered modest. The former emir had 3 wives and 24 children, including 11 sons and 13 daughters. Today, the Al Thani family is estimated to have around 8,000 members, a truly remarkable figure. While many nations promote family planning, Qatar's royal family seems to go in the opposite direction, expanding their lineage as much as possible. But with a fortune worth hundreds of billions of dollars, taking care of a grand family of thousands is certainly not a problem for them. Number 5. Qatari women. Beautiful, talented, and wealthy. Qatari women are seen as a harmonious blend of traditional Arabian beauty and modern sophistication. They stand out with their warm bronze skin, deep captivating eyes, and long curled lashes, often accentuated by subtle yet striking makeup. They have a particular love for perfumes, especially oriental scents that carry an air of elegance and mystery. Whenever they appear in public, Qatari women always maintain a graceful, confident, and modest demeanor. Although Qatar is an Islamic country that upholds many traditional values, women here enjoy greater freedom in choosing their attire compared to those in neighboring nations. They may wear anything that is modest and appropriate. Even so, the black abaya remains a favorite, as it not only reflects cultural identity but also adds a distinct sense of elegance. Beneath the abaya, one might find a designer dress, a chic t-shirt, or a pair of stylish jeans. In everyday life, Qatari women are treated with exceptional respect. In public places, they are often served first, and staff members are always polite and attentive. Within the family, women are regarded as the heart of the household, cherished and well cared for. According to Islamic tradition in Qatar, men have the obligation to provide for their families even after marriage, which means women do not bear financial pressure. For them, working is a personal choice, not a necessity. However, that does not mean they are dependent on men. Qatari women work hard to prove their capabilities. They are well educated, with many graduating from prestigious universities in Europe or the United States, and they work professionally across various industries. The Qatari government also places great importance on the role of women in the nation's development. The state encourages women to pursue education, entrepreneurship, and leadership roles in both business and public sectors. They are given access to funding, mentorship, and skill development programs. Today, women make up more than 1/3 of the national workforce and hold the highest education levels in the Arab region. Many Qatari women have built their own successful careers, amassing fortunes that even Europe's elite admire. Some own fashion houses, luxury spa chains, or invest in international real estate. They drive Rolls-Royce cars, collect Hermes bags worth millions of dollars, and think nothing of flying to Paris or London just to buy a newly released item. Are you curious about how to befriend a Qatari woman? If so, leave a comment with the number 1. They rarely share their lives on social media. But trust me, we have a few interesting secrets. Number 6. How poor was Qatar before becoming rich? Before becoming one of the wealthiest nations on earth, Qatar was once among the poorest and harshest lands in the Middle East. Lying in the middle of a barren desert, this small country had almost nothing but sand, rocks, and wind. There were no rivers, no greenery, and fresh water was so scarce that it had to be imported from elsewhere. During dry seasons, villagers often had to travel all the way to Bahrain or Kuwait just to ask for drinking water. Life at that time was extremely difficult. People built homes from palm leaves or simple fabric tents in the vast desert. During the day, temperatures rose above 50 degrees Celsius, and at night the cold was biting. They had to light fires and sleep beside camels to stay warm. The main source of livelihood for Qataris back then was fishing and pearl diving. Men spent months at sea without oxygen tanks, tying ropes around their waists and diving deep into the ocean to search for small oysters, hoping to find a precious pearl inside. Meanwhile, the women stayed home, praying for their safe return. A successful dive meant food on the table, while failure meant hunger. The economy at that time was almost primitive. The entire country had no factories, no farms, and not even a stable currency for trade. People relied solely on bartering. To get rice, they would bring dried fish to the port and exchange it with Indian traders. To get fabric, they would gather pearls and trade them in Bahrain. Wooden dhow boats were the only means of transportation, drifting on the sea for weeks just to exchange for a few sacks of rice or barrels of fresh water. If a storm struck, everything was lost. When times were good, people would share rolls of cloth and bags of rice, which were considered more precious than gold. By the 1932, when Japan invented cultured pearls, Qatar's pearl diving industry collapsed completely, plunging the entire economy into crisis. Many lost their livelihoods, surviving on aid or leaving the country to work abroad. At that time, Qatar was so poor that people used to joke, if you drop a rial, don't bother picking it up, because you never had one to drop in the first place. In 1939, Qatar discovered its first oil field, but extraction did not resume until after World War II. When the first drops of black gold flowed from the ground, the nation's destiny began to change. From a barren land, Qatar quickly entered a period of explosive growth. In the 1972, they discovered natural gas and, most notably, the North Field, the largest natural gas field in the world. From then on, Qatar transformed dramatically. The palm leaf huts turned into luxurious villas, and camels were gradually replaced by supercars. In just a few decades, Qatar rose from a struggling desert nation to a symbol of modern wealth and prosperity. Number 7. Doha, the new wonder of the world. Lying in the arid desert of the Arabian Peninsula, Doha was once just a small coastal village founded in 1820. At that time, there was almost nothing here but sand, sunlight, and wind. There were no mountains, no rivers, no trees, and few creatures could survive the heat that often exceeded 50 degrees Celsius. The name Doha in Arabic means the rounded bay, inspired by the natural curve of the gulf surrounding the city, which was one of the few features bringing life to this harsh land. In 1971, when Qatar declared independence, Doha officially became the capital, but at that time, it was still a small town with a few dusty roads and low, modest houses. The entire city seemed to disappear into the golden color of the desert. The Qatari government then set an ambitious goal: to turn Doha into a modern city right in the middle of a place where building anything seemed impossible. They cleared most of the old districts and invited some of the world's top architects to redesign the city from scratch. Everything, from roads and buildings to green spaces, was carefully planned. That marked the beginning of Doha's incredible transformation. 30 years later, what was once thought impossible became reality. From a land that had nothing, Doha rose to become one of the most developed cities in the world. By 2015, it was recognized as one of the 7 new urban wonders of the world, thanks to its astonishing pace of growth. Yet Doha has no intention of slowing down. Locals often joke that this city never stands still, because every few years, its skyline changes again. New skyscrapers rise, new parks are planted, and new boulevards are expanded. A place that was once covered in sand is now filled with greenery and shimmering lights. Today, Doha is home to about 2.5 million people, but less than 15% are Qatari citizens. The rest come from over 100 different countries, making the city feel like a United Nations in the desert. Despite its diversity, Doha remains one of the few cities in the world with virtually no homeless people. Native citizens are provided with housing, while migrant workers live in separate, well-managed accommodations. And true to the reputation of a wealthy nation, police officers in Doha can be seen driving Porsche, BMW i8, or even Lamborghini patrol cars. Not to chase criminals, since there are hardly any, but to reflect the image of a prosperous and secure country. Would you like to visit Doha at least once? Or perhaps even live there someday? Share your thoughts below. Number 8. Cultural shocks in Qatar. If you think Qataris are cold or distant because of their wealth, you might be surprised. On the contrary, they are extremely friendly and famously hospitable. When you step into a small shop or ask for directions on the street, chances are they will offer you a cup of Arabic coffee or even insist you stay until you try a piece of date cake. In Qatar, hospitality is not just good manners. It is a deeply rooted cultural tradition passed down through generations, regarded as a source of national pride. A well-known folk tale perfectly illustrates this spirit. Long ago, there was a Qatari man who owned a rare Arabian horse with a golden coat that shone like sunlight. Word of the horse spread far and wide, until one day, a foreign traveler crossed the desert to Qatar just to see it with his own eyes. When the guest arrived, the host warmly welcomed him, offered tea, and engaged in conversation. To show his hospitality, he prepared a grand feast. After the meal, the visitor eagerly asked to see the golden horse. The host smiled and said, "I wish I could show it to you, but I slaughtered it to cook the finest meal I could offer my guest." The story is both humorous and touching, showing that for Qataris, hospitality can be valued even above material wealth. In daily life, Arab culture is reflected in many subtle ways. In Qatar, the use of the right hand is not only a rule at the dining table, but a guiding principle in nearly every action. When entering a door, the person on the right goes first. When shaking hands, pouring tea, offering a gift, or receiving something, everything must be done with the right hand. Qataris believe that the right side symbolizes luck, purity, and respect. Even in blessings, they often say things like, "May everything good be on your right," meaning they wish you happiness and prosperity. If you are curious about weekends in Qatar, here's something interesting. Friday and Saturday are the main days off. Friday is considered the holiest day in Islam, dedicated to the Jummah prayer. That morning, many shops close, as people prepare for the prayer held early in the afternoon. One special detail is that on Friday mornings, the streets around major mosques are kept completely silent. Even taxis and buses pause their service to make way for the crowds heading to worship. By Friday evening, however, the atmosphere turns lively again, much like Saturday night in other parts of the world. Number 9. The mysterious places of Qatar. The first is the abandoned village of Al Jumail, located in northern Qatar near the Al Ruwai area. From a distance, it looks like an ancient painting, forgotten by time in the middle of the desert, with crumbling stone houses, sand-colored walls, and old doors left slightly open, as if waiting for someone to return. According to historical records, Al Jumail was once a bustling fishing village in the 19th century, where people made their living mainly from fishing and pearl diving. However, no one knows exactly why the village was abandoned. Some believe the water sources dried up, while others say a sandstorm destroyed everything. Locals, on the other hand, believe the village was cursed, Visitors who have been there tell stories of hearing footsteps on the sand when no one else was around, or knocks on doors in the blazing heat of noon, even when the air was completely still. Some claim to have seen shadowy figures moving among the old houses, only to vanish without a trace as they approached. Stranger still, mobile phone signals in the area often become distorted despite being close to a transmission tower. Many photographers capturing sunsets in Al Jumail have reported mysterious light streaks appearing in their photos that could not be explained. All of these stories have earned Al Jumail the nickname the Ghost Village of Qatar. The second location is Ras Abruk, also known as Film City, situated in the western desert of Qatar near the Zakrit area. From above, it looks like an alien planet, with massive round rock formations rising from the sand, creating bizarre shapes. Some resemble beehives, others look like human faces, and there are even formations arranged in circles so perfectly shaped that it is hard to believe they were formed by nature. Locals say that on moonless nights, when desert winds rise, the area emits a deep rumbling sound, like the growl of a large beast, echoing across the sky before fading suddenly. Scientists suggest the phenomenon may be caused by wind passing through rock crevices, creating a resonant effect, but the mystery lies in the fact that the sound only appears during new moon nights. In addition, compasses here often deviate by a few degrees, and GPS signals are lost even though there are no visible obstacles. Some believe there is a magnetic field or an undiscovered rock structure beneath the sand, while the superstitious claim that this place is a gateway to another world. Number 10. The unexpected nightlife of Qatar. Compared to Western countries, nightlife in Qatar is relatively calm, largely influenced by Islamic law. Qataris usually spend their evenings gathering with family, enjoying light meals, sipping mint tea, and chatting in traditional guest rooms called majlis. While in Europe or the United States, people often meet in bars or pubs. In Doha, it is more common to see men dressed in white thobes, sitting on cushions, sipping tea, and smoking shisha while discussing politics, football, or simply talking about the weather. These peaceful evenings perfectly capture the essence of Arabian culture. When the sun sets and temperatures cool after 7 in the evening, Doha comes to life. People head outdoors for late dinners, leisurely strolls, or evening shopping in the pleasant air. Areas like Souk Waqif, Qatari Cultural Village, and the Corniche glow under vibrant lights, with the aroma of grilled meat drifting through the breeze and the sound of traditional music blending with cheerful laughter. During Ramadan, the nighttime atmosphere becomes even livelier, as families gather for lavish iftar meals and suhoor feasts that last until nearly dawn. For the expatriate community, nightlife takes on a slightly different tone. Alcohol is not sold publicly, but some 4- and 5-star hotels are licensed to serve it. So, if you want a cocktail or the upbeat vibe of a DJ night, you can visit The Den at Dusit Doha Hotel, Champion Sports Bar at Marriott Marquis, Zengo Lounge at Kempinski, or the Irish Harp at the Sheraton. From rooftop bars like Skyview Lounge or La Cigale Hotel, you can take in a panoramic view of Doha sparkling under the city lights, luxurious yet serene in the middle of the desert. After the 2022 World Cup, Qatar began hosting more nighttime activities, such as music festivals, outdoor art exhibitions, car races, and open-air film screenings under the stars. For those who love youthful energy, there are still plenty of options, though you won't find all-night bars or booming music lasting until sunrise, as in the West. Doha's late-night food scene is also wonderfully diverse. Although there are no typical drinking spots like in many other countries, the food is exceptionally appealing, from grilled kebabs and shawarma to Arabic pastries, fresh juices, and specialty coffee. However, if you plan to enjoy the nightlife here, there are a few things to keep in mind. Most bars close before 2 in the morning, and taking alcohol outside or to the beach is strictly forbidden. In Qatar, public intoxication is not allowed, and even appearing slightly tipsy might be enough for the police to remind you to be careful. Number 11. Must visit destinations in Qatar. Khor Al Adaid, also known as the Inland Sea, is one of the few places in the world where the desert and the ocean naturally meet. Located in southern Qatar, about 80 kilometers from the capital Doha, this area has been recognized by UNESCO as a biosphere reserve. What makes Khor Al Adaid unique is that seawater flows deep into the desert, creating a rare ecosystem where fish, crabs, migratory birds, and even Arabian oryx coexist. Since there are no paved roads leading to it, visitors can only reach the area by specialized off-road vehicles. The sand dunes here change shape daily due to the wind, making GPS maps almost useless. Beyond its breathtaking scenery, Khor Al Adaid is a favorite spot for sandboarding, camping, kayaking, and stargazing at night. Local guides say that when the tide rises, seawater can reach the base of dunes that stand tens of meters high, an extremely rare phenomenon in the Middle East. Al Zubair Fort is the best preserved historical structure in Qatar. Built in 1938, the fort once served as a coastal defense post, protecting the country's northwest shoreline. Constructed from coral stone and gypsum, it features 4 round towers and a large central courtyard. Today, it functions as a small museum, displaying pottery, pearls, and ancient artifacts. Just outside lies the ruins of Al Zubair, once a bustling pearl trading center in the 18th century. Archaeological excavations there have uncovered thousands of relics, including ceramics from India, Persia, and East Africa, evidence of Qatar's role as a major trade hub in the Gulf region. The site was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2013, and remnants of ancient walls, houses, wells, and markets can still be seen today. Zakrit, along with the monumental sculpture, East-West divided by West-East, is one of the most captivating destinations for those who love art and nature. In the middle of the vast desert, 4 massive steel plates, each nearly 15 meters tall, stand aligned in a straight line over 1 kilometer long. Created by American artist Richest in 2014, the positioning of the plates was calculated with precision to bisect the desert between 2 natural cliffs. If you stand between them, the sound of the wind echoes as if you were inside a giant open-air theater. The surrounding area features striking rock formations carved by the wind into surreal shapes and has been used as a backdrop for many famous films and commercials. Number 12. Famous dishes of Qatar. Makbuz is considered the national dish of Qatar, appearing at nearly every celebration, wedding, and family gathering. Essentially, it is a rice dish cooked with meat and spices, but what makes makbuz special is the way Qataris use their aromatic ingredients. Basmati rice is cooked with a traditional spice blend called baharat, which includes cinnamon, cloves, cardamom, saffron, and dried lumi, a black lime that gives a tangy and slightly smoky flavor. Each region has its own variation. In Doha, lamb is the preferred choice, while coastal areas favor fish, and the southern regions often use chicken. According to local custom, makbuz is served on a large communal platter for everyone to eat with their hands, symbolizing unity and sharing. Interestingly, it was once known as the pearl diver's meal, because in the 19th century, fishermen would prepare a simpler version right on their boats using just rice, spices, and dried fish. Balalit is a dish that surprises many visitors with its unusual yet delightful combination. It consists of thin vermicelli noodles fried in butter, mixed with sugar, saffron, and cardamom, then topped with a layer of savory omelet. Though it may sound strange, the contrast between sweet and salty flavors creates a uniquely Qatari taste. This is a popular breakfast dish, often enjoyed with karak, the traditional Arabic milk tea. Qataris believe that a breakfast of balalit helps awaken the taste buds and start the day with energy. Saluna is a traditional Qatari stew found in almost every household. Its ingredients are flexible. It can be made with chicken, fish, or beef, combined with vegetables such as tomatoes, potatoes, carrots, and zucchini. The dish is usually prepared with whatever is available, so there is no fixed recipe. In local culture, saluna also carries special meaning. Newly married women are often taught to cook it by their mothers or grandmothers as the first dish, serving as a test of their homemaking skills. Lukaimat is Qatar's most famous dessert, especially popular during the month of Ramadan. These are small golden dough balls fried until crisp and then drizzled with date syrup or honey. What makes them distinct is their texture. The outside is perfectly crunchy with fine cracks, while the inside remains airy and soft. In Qatar, there is even a tradition called the first lukaimat, meaning that when a mother fries the first batch of lukaimat at the start of Ramadan, she shares it with her neighbors as a gesture of good luck. Though simple, lukaimat is regarded as a symbol of hospitality and generosity deeply rooted in the Gulf's Arab culture. Number 13. Unique festivals in Qatar. Eid al-Fitr is one of the most important and distinctive religious celebrations in Qatar. It marks the end of Ramadan, the holy month of fasting for Muslims. Unlike many countries where the festival lasts only 1 or 2 days, in Qatar, Eid al-Fitr extends for nearly a week, and is considered a time for reunion, celebration, and acts of kindness. As soon as the new moon appears, mosques across the country hold a special prayer known as Salat al-Eid. People dress elegantly in traditional clothing. Men wear white thobes, while women don dark abayas embroidered with silver or gold patterns. Children receive envelopes of money called adheres, similar to lucky money in some Asian cultures. What makes Eid in Qatar truly special is the strong sense of community. Areas such as Souk Waqif, Qatari Cultural Village, and the Corniche become lively centers for traditional music and dance performances, sword shows, and dazzling fireworks. Many shopping malls stay open late into the night to welcome locals and tourists. Alongside the festivities, the spirit of generosity remains central. Qataris prepare free meals for migrant workers, distribute food at mosques, and organize numerous charity events across the nation. During these days, almost all offices and businesses close for the holiday, turning Qatar into a temporary kingdom of joy, where families gather to share traditional dishes like the fragrant makbous. The second major celebration of the year is Qatar National Day, held annually on December 18th. It is the grandest national event, commemorating the unification of the country by Sheikh Jassim bin Mohammed Al Thani in 1878. From the beginning of December, Qatar is adorned in red and white, the colors of its national flag, along with the state emblem and patriotic slogans. The highlight of the celebration is a spectacular parade along Doha's Corniche, featuring the army, police, cavalry, and aerial displays by fighter jets and helicopters forming the flag in the sky. At the same time, Qatar Cultural Village hosts the Qatar Cultural Festival, where people from different regions showcase traditional crafts, pearl diving, dhow racing, and folk music performances. In Al Wakra and Al Khor, families hold food fairs, folk games, and outdoor singing events. Children wear traditional clothes, wave flags, and sing the national anthem on the streets. At night, Doha's coastline sparkles with a 20-minute fireworks show, while military aircraft soar above, forming the number 18 in the sky, a symbol of this special day. Another interesting tradition is that each year, Qatar issues commemorative stamps and coins for National Day, which have become valuable collectibles throughout the region. Number 14. Travel costs in Qatar. When visiting Qatar, one of the first things that fascinates many travelers and expatriates is the cost of living in this wealthy nation. In the capital city of Doha, the rent for a one-bedroom apartment ranges from $900 to $1,500 per month. If you choose to live farther from the city's center, in quieter suburban areas, prices can drop to around $500 to $800. When it comes to food, cooking at home remains the most economical option. On average, groceries from local supermarkets cost about $300 to $400 per month. International supermarket chains are slightly more expensive but offer a wider selection and higher quality products. If you prefer to try local cuisine, a meal at a casual restaurant costs around $6 to $12. Doha's public transportation system is modern and efficient, especially its metro network. The average monthly transportation cost for public transit is only about $25 to $40. For those who enjoy fitness, Qatar's gyms are well equipped and feature state-of-the-art facilities. Membership fees typically range from $60 to $100 per month, with many including swimming pools, spa areas, or personal training sessions. Some high-end apartment complexes even provide private gyms for residents free of charge. Overall, the average monthly cost of living in Qatar ranges from about $1,300 to $2,500, depending on one's lifestyle and spending habits. Number 15. Important tips for travelers. One of the most common reasons foreign tourists get into trouble in Qatar is taking photos in restricted areas. In many countries, raising a camera to capture street life or people passing by is perfectly normal. However, in Qatar, such an action may be considered a violation of privacy. The law strictly prohibits photographing local residents, especially women, without their consent. Government buildings, military facilities, and some embassies are also designated as no photography zones. If you are unsure whether photography is allowed in a particular place, the safest choice is to put your camera away. Another thing that often surprises visitors is the traffic. Roads in Qatar are modern, wide, and well maintained, but Qataris are known for driving extremely fast, especially on highways. They rarely use turn signals, sometimes overtake in emergency lanes, and may change lanes abruptly. So if you plan to rent a car, keep a greater distance than usual and strictly observe the speed limits. Speed cameras are installed everywhere and operate continuously. Exceeding the limit by just 20 kilometers per hour can result in a fine of up to 1,000 riyals. The fine may be deducted directly from your rental car deposit or must be paid before leaving the country. Lastly, pay attention to business hours. In Qatar, the daily rhythm is almost the opposite of that in Western countries. Many shops, restaurants, and tourist attractions open only after 4 in the afternoon, especially during the summer. During Ramadan, opening hours are even later, with some places not operating until after sunset. Without knowing this, you might end up wandering for hours under the desert heat without finding anything open. Surely, after exploring 15 incredible facts about Qatar, you've gained a glimpse of the country's unique charm. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our upcoming journeys. Which fact impressed you the most? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. The information is for reference only, so please do your own research before making any decisions.